Good morning. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's morning call. We have a new week. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend and ready to rock and roll, as there'll definitely be a lot of action. And the question is, what type of action will we have? At this point, we know, I think May, the S&P was down like 6.5%. But technically, a lot of that made sense. You know, a lot of moving averages got broke. Some ascending channels also got breached. And you know, here we are trying to figure out, can we play a tactical oversold bounce at some point this week from, you know, a targeted area or not? You know, not saying we're back in October, November, December, but, you know, those bounces were very far and few between. Anyone who played the cost average game saying, hey, we have to bounce, they got, you know, they got turned around pretty hard. So at this point, we'll see. We'll put together levels and what we need to watch and figure out, you know, do we, you know, see some kind of tactical bounce? I know a bunch of guys probably went home short tech because it was very weak on Friday. Already mentioned to you that I started to, you know, I actually just went with Facebook. I covered some already, and I'm looking to see, you know, some of these levels in the S&P cash to figure out, you know, if they're buyable. If you look here at the chart, overall, this right here could be like a big lesson book. You know, like you could pretty much look at this and say, okay, how could you have maneuvered? Okay, well, here was your 8 and 21 day, and we know my rules. When we break an ascending channel that's been in place since the igniting bar of the, you know, the Powell pivot, you know, that was your spot to get out of your portfolio approach and get into tactical approach. It broke the ascending channel and it lost the 8 and 21 days. So both, you know, situations for me to go from my 10, 15, 20 longs to, you know, 1 or 2 or none. Some guys might have even got aggressively short there. If you did, you probably made a lot of money. Anyway, then we navigated this area, created a right shoulder, broke below 28.01, and then Friday we hit a low of 27.50. We're below the 200-day, which is right here. Here's 27.22, which is a point of reference back from March. You know, do we test that? I would have loved to seen that this morning. Who knows? Maybe we still can. So 2 ways to play it. If we reclaim 27.50, you know, chances are maybe there's a bounce towards 27.66 or maybe even back towards the 200-day. If we can't reclaim 27.50 or we do it in tech still acts weak and things are feeble, you know, chances are you got to keep risk down and then see how we handle 27.22. And then ultimately, you know, the measured move from the neck, you know, the head to the neckline down here takes you to about 26.48, which, you know, could take time or it could happen fast or it cannot happen at all. We'll see. But at this point, we're below the moving averages. We're just trying to take trades and figure out what's next. So, you know, that's what I just wrote before. So the Qs, obviously, you know, are another sector that we focus on. It's tech. This ascending channel was lost up here. That's when most names stopped acting special. We're below all these moving averages. This gap never got filled, and tech is definitely weaker today. This low here is what? 173.87. It's below the 200-day, so 173.87. If we stay below that, no reason to buy anything in tech, you know, or be very selective at least. You know, here you have 171.85, okay, and then this low here is down near 169.34. So, you know, I guess you could put this like there. This is done now, this 175. You know, these levels are also all, you know, were very important then, not really anymore. Just, you know, this was the gap that didn't get filled to give you some clues that, hey, you know what, nothing's on sale or nothing's being bought on sale. That means they have to go more on sale. And especially this one too. So now you'll see what happens here today. Do we stay below 173.87 and work our way down towards, what's this level here? This is 171.85. So I want to write that in for you guys, and you should have that on a piece of paper next to you to see if we get there, and if we do get there, you know, how does it react? So this is right here, and then this is right there. So this is all we could do is map out levels. Right now we're kind of in no man's land. Below Friday's low, above here and above there, and we'll see what's next. But we do know that this trend was broken here. That was your time to get out of the way. IWM, you know, also broke its channel, broke below here, broke below there, lost all the moving averages up here, broke that small ascending channel there, and now, you know, this is your next support, I guess. You know, it's 144, and what you want to know is Friday's low. Friday's low is 145.32. Does it stay below that, or does it reclaim it and try and give you some kind of bounce? So that is your little line in the sand right there, 145. I think I said 23. I might be wrong, but I'm not going to really over focus there. But that is here. So now this 147 is gone. this 149 is kind of still here, but you know, I wouldn't think we see that anytime soon. And IWMs have been broken, and nothing special along the way. Banks have been broken. JP Morgan, I guess you could say, came off lows on Friday. So now we'll see, does it come back there? So, you know, we'll write that in here. This low is what? 104.84. I put this as the support going sideways. Didn't quite get there, but sometimes they don't. That's why you have to figure out where they stop with a 5 and 15 or 30-minute low. So 104.85. It's down this morning. I guess see if it's, the only time these banks are buyable is Versa level. So here's the level, okay, and then this is bigger support. BAC also, remember the wedge, it actually broke to the downside the way it's supposed to, not like it did here. I guess you could make this a little bit further down now, and the question is, what's this low here, 26.48? Not much to do except for when things are kind of extreme in the hole. Maybe there's a little tactical bounce, but ultimately this trend has been lower, and the banks can't do much when yields are getting crushed the way they are. But it's definitely a little oversold, and if we do bounce, this is something to turn to. Remember when it broke this spot? When I actually sold some like somewhere around 31, and then this is when it changed. Things change. Broke the 8 and 21 day, and that's your out. That's our rules. If you trade for momentum, it was above this trend all the way till about here, and now it's all the way down there. So you have to adjust. Remember Goldman Sachs, we were playing that also. Well, here it failed at 209, got below the moving averages here. I don't think I've traded it really since, and now it's filling this gap, and hopefully people who are trying to play thinking, hey, maybe it gets above this channel, which I was thinking maybe it gets above this channel, and it didn't. So you have to adjust. And those guys who adjusted fast got out of the way, and the rest are probably holding their nose and going underwater. But anyone, in Redler All Access doesn't do that, because if I'm not in it and no one's talking about it, chances are it's a short, unless, and that's that. This is now 182.31. 182.31. It's definitely oversold. You could look for like a red dog reversal or something like that, but nothing more. Nothing more. This is the low now here, and it's filling this gap. This is down to here. So maybe it's worth a look today, especially if the market tries to bounce. I might even look at it, play it for something from around here. But ultimately, this has been very broken, and got to get out of the way when things break. And this is your 8 and 21 day break right there. I'm not trying to harp on it. I just want to, you see, how you need to adjust in these type of markets. And it's been below ever since. So that's that. Then you have the go-to list. The go-to list also lost special status. I remember it was like, 3-4 weeks ago. It was at the Maccabi games. Trump came out with the tweet saying the trade war with China is far from over. We got down 40, 50 handles. I was in more longs than I've had all year, and that day kind of was a rough one. But if I would have not adjusted or hit under the table, I could have blown up. That's how much higher these things were. So that's why we switch gears and have rules. Anyway, Amazon, some of you guys are actually shorted overnight. Okay, if that's you, congratulations. I would cover some into the 200-day. Maybe it's even worth a look here. Broke 1804, broke the inside wedge. Yeah, so this is, Amazon lost special status. Some were shorted below 1804 floor. Now it's, this is from the other day. Well, anyway, 1745. We'll see, does it hold here? If that doesn't hold here and it continues lower, chances are, we're not going to have some, a bounce today. Google got hit finally with the EU antitrust, whatever it is. They've talked about this so long, it doesn't really matter considering it's been broken. No one's playing this for a bounce, didn't fill this gap. So at this point, it'll be interesting. Does this hold here? It's looked, the low of the morning was 1069. If this, makes a low in the first 5-15 minutes, maybe it tries to fill some of this gap. So here's your downside gap that didn't get filled. Maybe this one, comes back up. And it could be an opportunity if you're not in it, because we're not in it. I'm not in Google. Last year, Google was awesome, okay? Or in the beginning of the year. Remember this wedge, remember, above the 8 and 21 day all the way up to there, and then missed earnings, and now here you are. You have to have rules, guys. You could blow up. You're never going to be in this game like me, for 20 plus years if you get stubborn and, you don't trade the market that's in front of you and you try and trade the market you want. So anyway, this is what? This is 1066, and that's right there. So, maybe that's worth a look. I am in Facebook. Why am I in Facebook? Short, because market's not acting too healthy. It was very weak on Friday. It broke below this 179.67, broke below 178.10, and now here's some bigger support around 174. I covered some around 176-ish. I have some orders out to 175 to cover the rest. We'll see if it's if we could do that. I guess if it got to 174 fast, maybe I would look to flip from short to long, but we'll see. With what happened with Google and this and that. So Google, watch Google. If Google comes off lows with some intensity, maybe this will be better. At this point, it's in a little bit of no man's land. So you can cover some and trail some, and then this low here from the other day is what, 177.16. So that is your new spot. If it stays below 177.16, stay short. If it tries to reclaim it, hey, maybe try and play a little bit of a bounce if the market's trying to bounce. That's Facebook. Apple has its big conference or whatever it has. In Vegas. At this point, there's a little gap here. This 176 is done. Let's get rid of this for now. What's the low? 174.99. So this is also actually this gap is still open. 175.35 is right here. 175 is there. This is now resistance. Gap gets filled at 173. I nibbled a little bit this morning. It was only down 30 cents. I'm like, what? I'm kind of thinking it could bounce. But again, there's a spot here that could be 173. It could be 169.50. So don't be in a rush to get too much size. But again, I wouldn't be pressing shorts for the extra juice. So this is 175. Right? What's that low there? What's the low here? This low is 174.99. So let's change this because that no longer is the low. It's 174.99. So here's the spot, and then if it can't get back above there, it got back above this morning, then 173 and 169.50 is very big going sideways. We'll see. Twitter, I'm not in. Be careful. It's got a gap to fill. The recent low was what? This was 36.37 on Friday. It went to 36.30. So now 36.30 is your only point of reference you have. It's either going to stay below it and fill the gap, or it's going to play around with it. For me, I'm just kind of watching it out of the corner of my eye. This little move here got me a little turned around. I bought too much, lost too much, and now I'm waiting, which is actually a better thing. And now we'll see what happens here. Sold this last week because it started to get too erratic for me. Now see how it holds this. Now it's really how it holds this. That's why we keep updating the language. Tesla, no white knight this weekend. So the options we bought for Friday probably going to be worthless. Thank goodness we had one little day in here that, made our options up 50%. So my cost is covered, but now I'm just going to sit below the moving averages. High valuation names are great when it's above the moving averages, and tight and shorts are trapped. Now when they're below, because they have control. And the most recent low here now is what? 184.10. If you're looking to knick-knack this, which to me it's not really worth it, but to you, okay, or maybe 184.10 is now, the new low to use. Then in the cloud names, you have Coop reporting earnings today after the close. It's been considered a special name, just pulled back a little bit. Here was your little double top, and watch what it does, today after the close. I'm not going to have a position in it, but for the market, it's going to be kind of important to see how it gets treated, if it's enough. Last time it came out with, I think it got hit on its report, but the group was a lot stronger, the market was a lot stronger. Now you have to see what does it want to do now. This is 107.29, so I might as well put that in there as recent support, 107.29. But that's not really like extreme, support. So this has to hold here. If not, you have 100, you have 97. This is another breakout area. So there's a little bit of a void here. Just be careful into earnings, and we'll see. Like this Twilio, it's, these things are kind of hard, right? Came in after earnings, then all of a sudden held this 123, and then boom, had a big day Friday. So it's still kind of broken, but it's not falling apart. It's below on the right side of the trend. I don't know. I'm avoiding it just until I see something more concrete. But again, this is kind of the stronger sector. So you just want to make sure you're not pressing at the wrong time, because you know, you could definitely get hurt. If you all of a sudden thought this was going to break 123 Friday, you got hurt. And now see how it hangs in here. A few inside days would probably be better. This NOW is right around the gap, below the moving averages where most of you guys got out. And now you want to see, does it hold this 257 or not? If it doesn't, this 250, 165 could happen fast. But I would just take care. Again, nothing's really acting special. Nothing's, you know, worth really sitting in, especially when it's back below the moving averages, which it is now. As far as new issue land, this Beyond is real strong. You know, we'll see what happens here today. The market tries to rally and this thing goes above 105.20, you can maybe get another move to 110, 115. There's a lot of shorts trapped in here. This held this was strong on Friday, so I'm going to look here. If it does it at the right time and gets above this 105.20, maybe I'll buy some for a squeeze, you know, because again, there's nothing to the left. Remember Tilray? But obviously it went to 300 before it went to 40, but the question is, could you stay solvent if you know, held those shorts? So anyway, that's that. Uber isn't special, but it's, you know, kind of hanging around, I guess. Earnings are behind it. It held this spot. What is this? I guess you could say it's a little tighter than it's been. I'm really not interested in it, but I'm making the levels here. Well, not a great report, but the forces of will might try their best to keep it up, and they kind of did. All in all, it's just building. At some point, maybe it'll be better. Lyft actually is acting better. Haven't looked at this in a while. That's why we have all these lines here. But ultimately, this, you know, 53-ish was reclaimed. Let's get rid of this for now. Let's get rid of this descending channel for now. Let's see. You know, at this point, I would say it's acting better than a lot of other names. A lot of other names are at the May lows, and this is kind of hanging above this little channel here. So I don't know if you could buy high, you know, or add to it, but there's really nothing up until about here, especially if it wants to continue to do this. And if it's going to, I don't know, maybe some guys could be long versus this, and if it gets above and stays above this 58.50, there's a move back into the 60s. It's been stronger when the market's weaker for now. So anyway, that's 58.50. This is what's going on now. This is what happened in the first start of the IPO. Okay, so we'll see if it continues to go here. Maybe there's a trade from 58.50 up to 63. Not so bad. ZM has been out of play. You know, broke its level up here. Didn't fall apart. I guess you could kind of make this like this now. This was older. Still, I wouldn't be in a rush here. This was your red dog reversal. This is when it lost special status. I guess came back up Friday and tested it and got rejected. At this point, I don't see anything worth really doing here unless you're really in tune with the stock and you knick-knack it. Here, it was nice and tight. Here, it broke out. Now, it's going to see if it can go sideways and rebuild before doing something again. Maybe PD's the same way also. You know, a few topping tails, market got weaker, broke below here. You know, and now you could say there's some few bottom tails there. You know, this is resistance, a different resistance area. That's the prior highs. So now you almost want to draw a line like this and see if it could rebuild in here to then clear that to get back to there. But for now, not a whole lot to do there. It's in its rebuilding stage. This is when it was tight. This is when it took off. This is when you had a bull flag. Here it's above the 8-day going, and now it's below and needs time to, I guess, digest what transpired the first 6 weeks of its existence. GLD, big move, ignited. You know, this was the day that Timothy on the chat was trying to get me long. If you're watching this, great call. I did not get long. Day 1, day 2, now you're at day 3. I always like to sell day 3 and whatever I'm in, not add to it. So if you're in the GLD from here, I would be taking some profits up here and make sure you trim and trail. Doesn't mean it's an easy short, even though it's coming into some resistance and the market's very oversold, but I would definitely take some off the table. So with that said, you know, the futures last night were down like 15, 16 handles. Now they're down 8 or 9. I would love to see some kind of quick move lower into that 2703 to 2722 area, maybe today or into tomorrow, and figure out if we could trade a tactical bounce with a little bit of size. If You know, the spiders that were just down 50 cents that I nibbled a little bit, reclaimed 275. I'm not going to have size. I'm just going to probably take a little bit more, and then I think we could try and bounce a little bit back towards, 276.50 or 277. Let's look at the spiders now. Here is where we are now. This is 272.40. This is the low. What is this low? This is 275.24. So that is, your point of reference there. At this point, it's below this, so that's out of the way. It's below this. This is where's the 200-day now? The 200-day is up at 277.26. So that is here, 277.26. This is, extreme resistance, which was when we broke the head and shoulders pattern. So now, this is, if this would happen fast, 272.40, maybe see if you see a signal for things to stop going down, and that would be a decent buy area. If this doesn't stop here today or tomorrow, the measured move is 264.50. So don't play the cost average game just in case, but if we reclaim 275.24, maybe there's a scalp long. If we get towards here and bounce off it, maybe you could try it there. We'll see. Tech's probably weak because of what happened with Google, so watch to see if that doesn't make a new low or doesn't make a low in the first 5-15 minutes. Like if Google happens to be down 32 and ends down 60 today, the tech's going to be in not in great shape. If Google opens down 32 or 35 and closes down 15, then maybe some of tech comes off lows and there's some kind of tradable moves from the long side. If not, you have to be very careful. So with that said, I'm going to post a lot of charts on the on the private Twitter feed, and let you know what I'm doing along the way, and just figure out how we can navigate this week with some care and the right process so we can net money. Have a good morning, and I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.